Welcome back. One of the big questions on everyone's mind this week is the cost of the clean-up. Treasury's revised estimate is now $4 billion, slightly more than the figure Bob Parker gave to us earlier. Gina Gerbic talked to the Mayor about support measures for the community at large, and especially for small businesses.
I think for small businesses there are many cases of great difficulties ahead, and that's why the government has released a special package. You would have heard those details yesterday. For businesses with under 20 employees, there is now a special grant available of $350 per employee for at least the next 4 weeks, and the businesses apply through the Chamber of Commerce to get the funding for their staff. Maybe it's a small cafe. The cafe is closed at the moment, perhaps they didn't have water, there's an issue with power or damage. They've got employees, those employees have families, commitments, mortgages, payments to make. So now this government payment system will allow them to, if they can, as a small business, supplement the wages, sort of a subsidy, I suppose, to their staff, or indeed if they don't have any cash flow coming in, at least there's $350 each per employee per week. So that's a short-term measure, and we'll be reassessing that as we go along. What the government has said is that they will stand behind the businesses in the city, the larger businesses as well, but you don't have an event like this without financial casualties in the short term. The long term is that we're heading into a boom, and that boom will be driven by over $1 million of money that will come in so far identified from insurance companies, from private insurance companies. Another $1 billion will flow directly into this community over the coming months from the Earthquake Commission. We'll have Mayor's welfare funds that will be helping people who can't access money from a number of other areas. There will be council spending on infrastructure, which will be driven by funding from central government and their own insurance policies, rebuilding of roads. So actually we're talking in the next 12 months, billions of dollars being injected into the Christchurch and outlying areas economy. So that means jobs, that means businesses will be able to expand in many cases. It means that in skilled areas we may even have some shortages and look to bring other people in. So the good news is, if you can transition and survive this very difficult phase for the coming weeks, there is a silver lining to this very dark cloud.
And finally, an estimate of the total cost to the Canterbury district?
Well, the best cost I've got is the one the Treasury put on it of $2 billion. I think that's conservative, so why don't I have a go? I'll say $3 billion is my early assessment.
So there's that cost, but then there's the boom coming.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. So, $3 billion has been wiped off the GDP of the area, let's say, and a lot of that would be through damage to housing stock. We're going to put that and more back into Christchurch in the months ahead, and that's because the government's supporting us to do this. They're determined, and the Prime Minister said to me himself, whatever you want from it. And you don't turn that down as a mayor. I'm going, yes, sir. There'll be a list.
Being up in the roofs among live wires seems far from ideal at such a shaky time, but among those likely to profit from the boom are electricians and other tradespeople. I found a 24-hour electrician who's focused on the light at the end of this tragedy. After such a big shake, you may not expect this Rangiora supermarket to be running as usual. It is, and so are its electricians behind the scenes.
The phone started ringing. People needed assistance. Mainly pair. People get very nervous with that pair these days, so checked on the neighbours and then we just got on the vans and went to work.
Rick owns one of only 3 24-hour electrical businesses in Christchurch. He says he's accidentally listed as an emergency service, consequently helping at least 50 homes, free of charge.
A lot of companies were out there and helping each other. I don't even know who I helped, and we won't be charging. It was just Kiwis banding together and doing what we could.
Surprisingly, he's expecting a downturn in the next few weeks.
Everyone's a bit worried to go ahead with projects, so yeah, we might struggle for work for a while before we see the other side effect of it, which will be a lot of contracts coming.
A time he expects to have to double his 8-man band. For him, a silver lining to the earthquake cloud.
It's a bad disaster. We've come off a right with no injuries, and it's going to be fantastic for the economy in the long run. I'm getting emails from all over New Zealand. Wellington Sparky emailed me this morning saying if you need a hand we can fly our electricians in. So I think we will see that happening.
So for these Sparkies there may be a temporary lull, but longer term a lot of early morning starts. Gracie Fea, Metro News. If you've seen the wreckage of the Repertory Theatre, you would be forgiven for thinking the curtains have come down for the last time. But as Claire Martin discovered, this theatre's not ready to take its final bow.
The Repertory Theatre has held a prominent place in Canterbury's art scene for more than 80 years. But this week's big shake has left the theatre in a sad state. The rumours are circulating the building will be destroyed.
I've been horrified to hear some of the rumours, and I've done our best to squash them. But we didn't really know until this afternoon how well the building had withstood the aftershocks.
It may look a mess from the outside, but the building has been checked over and the inside is largely untouched.
And we're so relieved and amazed to see that everything was virtually in place. So we could tell that the building had suffered a good old shake-up.
Despite its rocky start, the latest show, Noises Off, will go ahead, even if they have to move venues.
Anyway, we can't stand here like this.
Like what?
In your underwear.
Okay, I'll take it off.
They're a dedicated cast making the trip up Mount Pleasant Hill to continue rehearsals in Rosina's sitting room.
So that's not too easy, but hey, one day at a time at the moment. It's great to have them together here tonight and to have fun.
But it's not an easy task, and it wouldn't be possible without Rosina.
She's absolutely extraordinary, and I have no doubt that this play will succeed largely because of her making sure that it goes ahead. And Rosina is the one that's going to make sure that we do this show, and the rep will carry on, and it will go from strength to strength.
In true theatre style, nothing will stop the show.
It's going to be a wonderful show, and it's going to be a wonderful show despite what's happened recently.
Well, you know the tradition in the theatre, the show goes on.
So, despite the big shakes, the focus for these actors is opening night. Claire Martin, Metro News.
Coming up after the break, how one social networking site tweeted the news around the world. And stories of survival from our own students.